Well, well, well. Let's play another song. All right. Let's get this straight. Bring this back to the beginning. I might not be too professional tonight. Okay, now that I'm talking a little lower, don't want to stress my voice. I've been hoarse perpetually. Just so much talking. And I have to because there's so much to be done. I'm going to explain tomorrow what I'm doing with the Patreon and what I'm doing with the membership channel. I'm just going to touch on it just for a second now, and we're going to get right into it. Many have supported the channel on Patreon, right? And now YouTube has this new thing called a membership channel. You've probably seen it before. Maybe you're a member of other channels. You get certain perks, special chat room stuff, things that you don't get to see on the regular channel. It's still free to watch the channel, but I'll be doing extra things behind the scenes, and I will also do that on Patreon. But those who support me on Patreon won't get the perks on YouTube, obviously. So Patreon is just a symbolic way of supporting the channel. But if you want to, I won't be mad if you discontinue Patreon and come over to YouTube and join the membership there for the live streams. And you will be seeing other things behind the scenes. I shot some stuff. I'll keep my camera with me. I'm talking in the street, whatever. I'm no big deal, but it gives more of a well-rounded experience, like behind the scenes when I'm editing and talking crazy, just different parts of my life, you know, to connect a little more. Because I'm not out here just for money. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people do, and you don't know who they are. So I'm going to show a lot of things, not private things, private things, but you know, I'm going to do a separate video tomorrow and do some walk around stuff and interaction and everything. But let me tell you what happened today. But I want to say angry, right? And I am, but I want to say angry and I am, but I'm not like out of control. I'm angry and disappointed. And excuse me for the shiny head. It has been a long, sweaty day, early till now. For me right now, it's 2:21 in the morning, and this is not going to be a 5-hour show, but it's going to be something effective. And my throat's a little hoarse, so what do? I gargle a little bit of salt water, but I'm weird, and I embrace my weirdness. And look what I'm about to do. Look at that. Look at that. It's going to show funny like that, but look, wasabi, right? The wasabi you put on sushi, that really goes up in your head. That's how mad I am. I can walk on hot coals, and I could also drop some wasabi in my mouth. Who does that? Knowing it's not going to knock my head off. You got to hit me hard to knock me out. For real. I'm weird. Yes, I am. And I'm tough too, but don't tell anybody. Anyway, the title, will tribalism, colorism, and self-hate be the only legacy that Blacks are known for? I think so. I think so right now. As each succeeding year goes by, I'm more and more disappointed. I grew up in a time, I can remember the late 60s. I was born in 63. I was born into a home that taught me what the real deal was about what was going on out in the world. So I didn't have that goo goo gaga phase. My father and my mother stayed together until they transitioned. God rest their souls. And they played different roles with me in my life. And I've told this time and time again, but I have to tell it now. Back in the early 70s and late 60s, from what I can remember, we had our issues. We had some issues that we have now in the world. Wars and rumors of wars, high gas prices, unemployment, drug epidemics. There was self-hate, but it wasn't like it is today. You would think with all the information that we have out here in the world, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, We have Twitter. We have LinkedIn. We have so many social media platforms that allow us to speak to each other. But a lot of us don't gravitate toward that. We gravitate toward the decadence. We gravitate toward the hidden simple pleasures. Look at the hits on some of the twerking videos. These are guys who watch it, and some women, because there are women out here who like women, in case you didn't know, that work with you. They go to church with you. Could be your brother, your father, your uncle. We're such hypocrites as Black people. And as sure as genetic annihilation is coming for Caucasians who are only 9% of the world population, and they have low birth rates, and they have drug addictions too, they get deadly STDs too, they grab guns and kill each other too, they're on their way out. And they're going to be the minority in the world. Or really, they're already the minority in the world. Correction. They're going to be the minority in the United States. 20 years. The way they're going out, it might be 15. And this is why they want to do everything to take us out. They're outnumbered. They're the world minority. But they make you feel as though the majority, because they do hold a lot of power now, right? And some in the world do. But if they're not there, who's going to be in power? So we have this book called Bible, right? And there's a lot of truth in it. But we have those who follow it to the letter of the law, so much that they want to get in confrontations in quoting certain scriptures that are contradictory to each other. And they waste time with this. But more so, when you think of Jesus, he's a man who is not Black. He's a man who doesn't look like the darker peoples of the world, even though we have some who will say, yes, he is. Well, I wasn't around at that time, so I don't know. I mean, people tell me stories about Santa Claus. I don't know if Santa Claus existed. There's no proof that Santa Claus existed. He didn't come around to my chimney. I know my parents worked their asses off to provide me not just with presents for one night, but a life, a home, a nurturing home, a quiet home, a home filled with love. I just got off the phone with several people, voicemailing, because I can voicemail a lot and still do my editing. And his name pops up on the screen, and I can say his first name because of that. My brother and friend, Kevin. And we both agree that we missed the good old days, that I would trade every bit of technology that we have today to just have those golden times. And they go so fast because you feel like they're going to last forever. But slowly but surely, people move away, people transition, and after a while, you find yourself in a different world. You make progress, you have children, you purchase homes, and you retire, but something's wrong in this world. Let me ask you something. What is wrong with Black people worldwide? Now, don't get in the comment section, well, there's no Black, there's not. I'm not rolling around in the dirt with anybody. You come with that stuff, I'm gonna delete you. I've been deleting a lot of comments that are there by professional people who are trolls, professional disinformation lists, like we had the show. If you look a few shows back, you'll see that. And we never get anywhere. So me now, knowing, growing up and being shown life by my parents as it is, I had no curiosities, none at all, because I knew what was going on out in the world. So I grew up a little different. I knew how to mix and meld and blend with other people. New York City is one of the most culturally diverse places in the entire world, especially Astoria, Queens, that has been voted the most culturally diverse place, destination on the planet, Queens, New York, that particular neighborhood, guaranteed. You'll see more people from different New York, every race, every culture, every ethnicity, every nationality, everything, the culinary, the foods, everything is there. So my mind was expanded because you have people who live there that don't do anything and don't learn. They stay in their little corner of the world, in their little circle. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm just setting it up and I'm flowing. Let me get a little sip of this juice. This is some good juice. I don't get kickbacks from it, but look at that. Now, probably you don't see that brand in America, but this is what I'm drinking now. No extra sugar. It doesn't even taste sweet. It just goes right through you. The only processing is taking out pulp and stuff, but it's just pure juice and it's not sweet at all. I love it. Now that was a Kyberry, right? And I'm so addicted to this juice. I just finished another one, same company, but super berries. So that's the way it is. Let me get a little sip of this. So, being culturally diverse in a place that influences you that way, you get a chance to be exposed to many people from across the world. It's hard to be narrow-minded in New York City. And it's not just New York, but Chicago, LA, Miami, Atlanta, more or less. So here I am, leaving America, that's spelled with 3 Ks, and I come to Accra, Ghana. And actually, what's today's date? Let me see. This is, look on the screen. It's the 2nd of September, 2022. So, in 14 more days, on the 16th, will make 2 years of me being here and living here. I'm still here. I'm still doing my shows. I'm still the same LANCESCURV, maybe a little brighter, with a little more wisdom, insight, and perception, hopefully, right? So I come here to the motherland. I visited once before in April and May of 2019. But that I'll say is like touching a hot stove and saying, oh, it's not so hot. But if you put your hand in the hot stove and leave your hand in the hot stove, you're gonna, get a little bit of a different feedback, okay? And that feedback here for me is that I got to learn the culture. I blended quite well. It's natural to me. It's like taking a fish out of that little bag when you go to the pet store and buy a fish for your fish tank, and you pour the water in with the fish, and the fish goes in there and starts floating around, looking at the other fish, saying hi, whatever. Natural transition. The only thing I miss from America are the people that I love to see them face to face. And I'm going to be traveling. Not going to tell you when, but I'll surprise you. And the change of the seasons and childhood memories. But other than that, mostly the people I love, right? So I'm here, and I embrace those who are here. And I've learned, and I'm going to have to be very careful with my words, because by no means am I trying to insult the people of Ghana, because I live here now, right? Why would I go? It's like going to somebody's house and being invited for dinner, and you start talking about how the food is nasty, right? No. And I'm not scared to speak my mind anywhere in the world, and I will, but in a way where people can't twist my words around. So here I am, like anybody else, not isolated. You've seen it. The videos of me in the street with me mixing with the folks, laughing with the phone doctor down there who fixes my phone, the young ladies who sell fruits and different things and certain friends of mine that you've seen recently on videos. And there's a lot more, but not everybody. So I've been explained and taught things that most people would not understand elsewhere unless you're here. And today, I was very shocked at what happened today. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to cover all bases so you know where I'm coming from, right? Now, today, I just felt like getting up and going down to the Accra Mall. And I know a lot of people that are there. They know me, I know them. I kind of stick out. This bald head, a slightly lighter complexion, a little husky. People could tell I used to do something years ago. And I'm friendly wherever I go. So I went and got 2 garden salads. I'm hooked on those garden salads down there. I just went there for that. I went up on my property, came down, went down there, and said, okay, I'm going to do all this outside stuff, and then I'm going to come on home. So in taking the Trotro, T-R-O-T-R-O, which is a van, a commuter van, just like in New York City where you have dollar vans. What's the name that they call them in Jamaica? Was it like Juta or something like that back in the day? The same vans? In the chat room, let me know, right, if you know. So I hop on the first van. I noticed that the mate, I'm going to call you what the mate is. I'm going to tell you what the mate is. You have the driver of the van that usually in New York City, in the dollar vans, back in the day, I don't know how they do it now, but the driver would take the money and give the change while he's driving. So he had a lot to do. Well, here in Accra, the medium-sized vans, the seats are pushed together because they're welded close together. Your knees are touching the seat in front of you. So you can have about 20 people on a regular size van that's the size of a 7-passenger van. Like the old Chevy Astros, a big truck like, you know, and you have longer ones too with the high top. You couldn't do that in America because the insurance would be through the roof. Let me see. I see the answer here, right? I'm not even going to strain and look at that screen. The screen is way over there, right? Okay, let me go. Let me just look. Yeah. Juta vans, yeah. So the mate is one who handles the money, and he sits right by the sliding door. Now, to get that many people in a van, it's not like you have just a bench seat that holds 3. You have bench seats. The one in the back is the one that goes across. The bench seat in front of that one, coming from the back, right? It holds 3, but they have a welded flip down seat. Little seat like this that flips up and down. So when the people in the back want to get out, it flips over and people can pass by and it flips back down. That's how you can have 4, 2 people in the front, the mate and the driver, 20 people. And they drive pretty fast. So the mate that handles the money, he's yelling out the destination of where that particular van goes, because vans are like, I've never seen it before. I mean, you walk out, there's vans there. So I was already by the Accra Mall, but they don't call it that. They call it Spanner. When you get in the van coming down, where you going? Spanner. When you see Accra Mall, they're looking at you like, what's that? Language barriers if they don't speak fluent English. So I noticed that the mate, he gave me this funky look, looked at me up and down, just gave me this funny look. I thought it was strange because here, there's so much ignorance, I'll put it that way. But when I got in that van, I was so angry and I was so hurt. Let me see let me put this chat room on my phone because I have it right here and the screen is way away. Okay, let's see. Let me see, space inside the circle represents a river. Okay. It's kind of deep, brother, but I'm going to focus on the story. Thanks for commenting. So now they don't ask for the money right away. You just tell them to stop that you're going to get off on. And for the most part, most of the mates that collect the money and give the change, they have to remember where you got on. So that distance from where you're going from where you got on, they have to know exactly how to charge. So they're calculating in their mind how to give back the exact change. And they have to remember each one where they're getting off on. But usually people will say, hey, I'm getting off at Ghana Flag. Hey, I'm getting off at High Tension. They got a stop called New York 1 and 2 on the line that I take, right? So it's a wonderful creative subculture that you can get into because it's organic, right? So I'm sitting back there zoned out. And if the young lady who I was sitting next to is watching this right now, big ups to you. You have a wonderful spirit. You're lovely. You're sweet. And I enjoyed talking to you. This is before the things happen. So I was sitting next to her and I was creating that short, or I created it while I was walking from the mall, right? And I was fiddling with it because I haven't really gotten into YouTube shorts. So I was checking things out, making mistakes, whatever. And finally I got it right. And I saw her kind of looking because she was on YouTube on her phone too. I knew that, no problem. I said, hi, how are you doing, sweetheart? And I call women sweethearts, so don't think that it's the era I grew up in. I said, you're on YouTube? And she says, yeah. I said, I see you checking my stuff out. No shame. Why don't you subscribe to my channel? Oh, okay, what is it? So she gave me the phone. I put it in. She says, I'm going to definitely check this out. It looks very interesting. At that very moment, the mate was calling different people to start to hand up their change because their last stop was coming up. And that was at the Medina Market, where I had to transfer from that one and take another one. I ain't going to tell you where it is, right? The kooks out here, I got to protect myself. I do. So if you want to come get it, get it. So anyway, I was so much talking to her, and they don't rush it. We weren't near there yet. But then he calls out, excuse me, whatever. People hand their money out. They pass the change back. Nobody's stealing your money. So I'm sitting there, and she started to look out the window, and I started to kind of stare forward. And this is what I heard from the mate. White nigga. Hey, white nigga. Hey, white nigga bitch. He made eye contact with me. It was a delayed reaction, almost like back in the 80s when Mike Tyson and Robin Givens were interviewed by Barbara Walters, and Robin Givens was saying all this stupid stuff, and he was sitting here, and I was like, nah. To be called that here? Now that made sense as to why he looked at me that way. So now I'm looking at him. And I said, what did you say? Because he said something after that. So he said the word after he called me a white nigga bitch in the motherland. But it's more to it than that, because, you know, when it comes time, I'm fast on my feet, I'm fast with my hands, and I'm fast with my brain. The other times I'm thinking stuff, I'm in my own world, but when it's time to do battle, verbally, physically, mentally, spiritually, I'll zero all them bad boys in, and I will rip you a new asshole. Excuse my French. So after he said that, and after I said that, I saw the people on the van start to chuckle like it was funny. Well, if you're laughing at something, evidently you know what it means. So that angered me more. But they didn't realize that I went from 0 to 60 in 0.05 seconds. So I said, and I'm going to use some profanity because I did. And I have a big enough vocabulary where I don't have to use it, but that got me heated. I said, listen, you fat fuck. I said it just like that. And I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I said, where did you get that from? I said, listen, and the people that were chuckling, they were like, because I projected my voice, and I know how to project my voice. I can project it where you could be on the other side of the world, deep in the dream with loud music playing, and you'll hear my voice. I got a big mouth. So he says, yeah, white nigga. I said, when they heard my voice, now let me tell this right, because I'm getting back in a moment. I'm starting to get all mixed up. Like I'm gonna go find him and get him, because there are only a few reasons why I just didn't snatch him up. And I'm not like that. I'd rather talk things out. But it hit me all at one time. And it was really the silent agreement of all the passengers who, when you come here, and I'm at the motherland, and there are a lot of people that act nice with you. But then there's also, and I have to say it, these are the conversations that people don't have. And this is a worldwide thing. It's in America and it's here too. The tribalism, the colorism, and the self-hate. I do love my people here just the same way I love them in America and all over the world. I always give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not going to demonize the people, but I have to explain that there's an ignorance that has permeated. We talk about the chemtrails in America. Well, there are none here yet, but there's a bit of sprinkling. You know, it's a whole lot more with the religion, with the politics. So this is what I said, not necessarily in the same order, because I went off. I was loud. I spoke very clear. And so when I told him, I said, with Ghana having a 79 point whatever illiteracy rate as of 2020, I said, when was the last time you read a book to say something like that? Because they're showing me that you're one who is very illiterate. Now I'm talking and projecting to everybody. We got a dog fight going on outside. It was like 5. I don't see dogs like that around here. I see goats and one dog here and there, but they've been fighting. It's an energy out there. And the cats, they weren't fighting the cats, but the dogs are fighting. So I said, you're showing me you're one of those guys. And I don't know about anybody else on this van. And so now one guy said, oh, please, he didn't mean it. He doesn't know what it means. He doesn't know how you people from America get affected by that word. Oh man, now you're gonna say something like that. I said, he doesn't know what it means. Did he say that to any one of you who got on the van? And now they're sitting around looking at each other, because I'm ready for all of them. I said, he said it to me. Why did he say it to me? Let's break it down. He saw me when I got on this van. I'm not white, but here, relatively, and I've been inside a whole lot doing my work here online, they do that. Now they have a word called abroni. That means foreigner. And for some, it means white man or white woman. But many people say it in an affectionate way. So it doesn't bother me. I've even said it of myself in a joking way to get some type of camaraderie with those who I know have a sincere heart. He said, abroni, be cool. It's not a negative word, but some people say it in a negative way, because they're telling you that you're different and we're not part of you. So when he called me a white nigger, what he meant to say with his self-hating self, that you may think you white, which if he knew me, how far mistaken he is. That you may think you're white, but you're still a nigger, because of his complexion being darker that he hates. I don't feel that I'm better than anybody. I'm usually that lighter complected black man who's trying to prove to the world how black I am to the core. That's my whole life. Ask anybody in any endeavor of what I've done. I'm the first one speaking up, the first one feeling it, and the first one bold enough to say what I got to say. I don't care if I'm in a church. I've been to churches and turned churches out. I've been to churches and there was a pastor who said something snide to my mother. Nothing under the clothes, because I would have beat his ass right then. I was about 12, 13 years old. I would have smacked the taste out of his mouth. But I told him off after the service when he said that, and he couldn't believe I spoke to him that way. I honor toxic hierarchies, form and fashion. Oh, you can't say that. And this is why there's so many people here. And I told them, you're making an apology for him. And he didn't make the apology. And then he turns around, well, give me my money. Give me money. He think you can bogart me? You don't put no fear in my heart. You can be King Kong. I'm not going to be scared of you when you try to come at me like that. I grow and get bigger. Not physically, but my drive and my passion, my focus, and everything goes in slow motion. When I'm fighting physically somebody, they're like throwing a punch slow. So I'm boop, 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 boop. And then I'm so hyped up for the next few days I can't sleep. And I like being that way. So after he shut up, and everybody's trying to, shh, oh, no, be quiet. Oh, no, he didn't mean it. Then he didn't say it to you. What are you making excuses for him for? If you punch me in the face one time, and I punch you in the face 10 times, don't tell me I overdid it by 9 punches, because you opened the door to start the stuff that you started. So now you got to face the consequences. Don't you try to shut me up. I said, that's the problem with black people here. I said, if this was a real white man, you wouldn't have said nothing to him. So with slavery in America, and the reasons why we can be the way we are, those some of us who are coons, some of us who are angry righteously, some of us who are just twisted because of all we had to go through. So you didn't have to go through what we went through in America. What's your excuse? What's your excuse for being coons? What's your excuse for being an apologist for a fool? And I asked them that. And I said, I told them all, this is why there's no unity with black people worldwide. We're a global people because this is our planet. And all of you here in this van who chuckled when he said that, you're a hypocrite and you lying to yourself. And I don't care how much you go to church, because they're all, just, he didn't. I mean, y'all need to shut up. No matter how much y'all go, every block, there's 3 and 4 billboards for different churches. A black man dressed up, prophet so-and-so, got the gold on, the nice suits, and there's a picture of the white Jesus. And as we were talking, or as I was talking, a van drove by, they always got a picture of the white Jesus. I said, look here, everywhere. Because white is right. You bow down to that. But why? You in your own country. But religion has you jacked up, and the politicians have you jacked up, and you're looking up in the sky waiting for somebody to save you, and the thing that's going to save you is inside of you. But with the tribalism, I said, I've learned here in Ghana what's going on. The ones from Accra and down in the south here in Ghana, because I'm on the south, the beach is not too far. It's not walking distance. I can get there in a car quick. Y'all don't like the ones from the Volta region. Those don't like the ones from the northern region. They even speak different languages within the same country and don't, oh, you're from here, you're from there. Ain't got nothing to do with me. This is what I observed, and it's what I was taught. Not everybody, not all, but some, but too many. We say Africa in America. We think of it as one big thing, and it's not. It's different countries here. Who marked those countries off? It is the way it is, but I have no problem with it if each place can operate properly. But why is it that Ghanaians don't like Nigerians? You got two little countries between Ghana and Nigeria. For me to fly from here to Nigeria, it's a short flight. But Ghanaians, you hear them whispering, oh, Nigerian, And Nigerians are like, hey, we got the swag, we got it going on. They're more aggressive in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. But if you notice Nigeria, the fashion, the movies, the push, the drive, they're like New Yorkers. A lot of Ghanaians in other countries, and again, I'm talking what I see, and a lot won't like it. I still love my black people. Why? Because of an artificial border in a different language, which is wrong. It should all be one language and one government here. Why? What's the difference? If a Ghanaian man and a Nigerian man went behind a tree or building and took a dump and came out, you tell me which one is Nigerian doo-doo and the next one which is Ghanaian doo-doo. You might see a little more jollof rice in the Ghanaians doo-doo, so you could tell. But what I'm saying is that we're all melanated people here. And while you bicker and bitch about the tribalism here, the self-hate and the colorism, which really was all rolled in one when that mate for that Trocho van came at me, he gave me a certain look. Because a lot of us worldwide hate ourselves. Come on, you know what it is. You know what it is. Is this going to be our legacy? Infighting? This is why I cut off from so many people that stay in the same foolishness, that have treated me a certain way. Let's go deeper. Now, I read them. More is going to come back to me. I just dropped facts on their ass, and they wanted me to shut up. I did say some things that I'm going to hint at. I'm not going to say it. Maybe I was heated. I didn't lose it. It's like a fighter who's ready for a fight and he's well trained. He's not going to back down. It's like, oh, you want to try to jump me? You want to try to? Okay, good. I welcome this because I'm ready for you. You're going to be shocked. Been training for years for this. Been living this for years, right? I told him, I said, listen, if that one who you call Jesus, that white manifestation, I'm not trying to insult nobody, but I had to get raw in that van. I told that dude, I said, you be the first one to drop to your knees. And I said it too. And I said, and they were, don't say that. Don't say that. I said, that one that you see up on the poster, on the billboards, that one there, we know there's a creator. We know there's something, but that manifestation there to make you think the lightest thing is closer to God, that one don't exist. Where is he at? I said it ignorant. I said, where is he? I said, where is he at? Here you are, mad at me because you think I'm from America and have millions of dollars. And you're going to call me a white nigga and then a white nigga bitch. You got that off of YouTube. You ain't got a worth of sense. Can't even speak your own language with any kind of comprehension. I heard how he had to keep repeating himself. So that's the English that you learn to call me, who feels that I love black people so much and I'll be a champion for them. I'm no big thing, but when it comes time to throw, I'm gonna throw in any kind of way. And you're gonna call me that? You don't even know me. If you knew who I really was and you knew my spirit, you wouldn't even come to say that to me. But now face the consequences, you fat fuck. If you knew how to read a book, you learn how to stay away from all them damn starches you eat. Huh? I said, I'm twice your age. Then he got, oh, no, you 42, you 38, you 40, you this. I said, man, next year I'm 60 years old. And I got more gas in the tank than you because look at you. Eating pork, eating chicken. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, if you damn read a book, you learn. If you bake it, whatever. Not the pork. Just the breast of the chicken, little fish, whatever. But eat them vegetables on them fruits. I was heated because of the people. And they kept pushing it. No, 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 he is ignorant because we will tell him. No, but he didn't call you that. And you laughed. You thought it was funny. So that was in your heart too. But you didn't realize that you was going to get a hot one today. The guy next to me, the ones in front of me, the ones way up in the front. One girl, well, she wasn't a girl. She was a middle-aged lady. And I mean, she had the longest breasts I've seen, more than Aretha Franklin, and they was all hanging out. So I said, and she turned around and tried to say something to me about Lord Jesus and stuff. I said, well, put your fucking titties away. You supposed to walk around half naked like this? The human body is beautiful, but what kind of attention you trying to get? And you gonna point your finger at me? Are you a harlot? Because you know I'm a comedian too. And when I mix anger with the funny stuff, it was funny, y'all. It was funny. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was mad. I was ticked off. Because you're going to have all these people trying to gang up on me now and teach me something. What you going to teach me? I don't know everything, but I know what's not. And I said, you'll talk this Jesus stuff. But at nighttime, on a Saturday night, here you go, imping up to the juju man. Because you believe in that, the evil version, not the natural thing and powers that we have in African spirituality, but you believe that occult stuff that the white man put his hand into. And you paying the juju man because you want to get back at somebody. You want to take somebody's husband and make the husband leave the wife so he can lay up in the bed for you. All of this energy toward foolishness and decadence. How long you really going to live? How long? I could be dead tomorrow. I could be dead 20 years from now. I might make it over 100. I know I got enough fire to go longer than that. I'm going to be the world's oldest podcaster. Mark my word. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Because I'm in it to win it. I'm here to stay. I was insulting to some, but they insulted me. They laughed at that. They knew what it meant. And I wasn't letting them off the hook. And so from now on, like I told Mr. SCURV, I said, when something happens on the spot, I'm not polite anymore. And this is what I really know. Don't let these incidents build up in your heart and cause you to get sick, because when you have anger in you and the frustration, or you build it up and you'll explode in a situation where it's not necessary. No, as soon as you hit me, before your fist comes back symbolically, my fist got back at yours. And I don't mean I'm violent. I'm just using it as an analogy. Because now when I stepped out of that vehicle and I'm looking at him, I'm just looking at him. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said, you know what? If nobody was around, I said, I'll rip you apart. I'll make you remember this. Not just for me, but for all the people you go and say something like that to. And you go back on your van, let people see you all lumped up, one eye closed, looking like Quasimodo and Nosferatu at the same time. Some people in this world, I have to say, some people in this world, while you teach them, you need to whip their ass. Some people, because how can he say that even in front of women? What if there was an American woman there with a lighter complexion and he would say that I would be just as mad, and if he said it to a woman, don't even have to be me, I can take it. I would have did something. I would have did something. I would have did something. Because see, him and some others are very ignorant and think that all UK people, American people that are black that come, that you have a lot of money. And he was looking at his sad existence because I picked up his vibes. I read him. And he's angry at me because I'm some white man. Do I look like a white man? But I understand you're in a country where people are black. So when you're a little lighter, it stands out. I forget sometimes. So some people are just looking at you. 3 times. Seriously, 3 times. 3 different women on 3 different occasions. Let's get into the colorism now. I talk with everybody, male and female. I'm about what I do. my cameras, my artwork, my writing. It's what I do. My desk is too sloppy now, but I'll turn it around on the membership channel and show you how it works. I'll put the camera and show you how it works. And at times I sit down so long, when I stand up, it's like I don't even know how to walk no more. But these three women that don't know each other on different occasions, casual people that you see at the market, hey, how you doing? And there's one woman I helped her walk down her bags off the trocho. It was very heavy. She got off and she was going down the block I was going down in the first apartment that I was in when we moved here. And then, I had to tie my shoes, my shoelace pulled out. Yeah, I hate that, right? I tie my shoes. I had one bag and I see her just walking with the bags. It was hurting her. She was falling asleep next to me. It was like maybe she had a long day. Let me adjust my seat. I hate that. The leg of this rolling thing always gets in the front, so I can't put a microphone close. So anyway, let me change this for a second. There we go. So I saw her walking. Wasn't trying to get with her or hit on her, whatever. I'm still my parents' child. I'm a grown-ass man. But we all have the little boy and little girl inside of us in our upbringing that we can still hear. Go help her out. I said, Miss, I don't know how far you're going down the road there, but I'm going all the way. And if I could help you, with your bags, it's no problem. She said, oh my God, really, would you? She was so shocked. This is what she said. She said, no man has asked me that. She says, no Ghanaian man would do that for me. But I heard in the culture here, not to put it down, I'm just sharing, that if it's a woman and a man walking down the street, husband and wife, or just strangers, or just the man's not supposed to carry. This is what I heard. Please confirm it with me. I spoke to several people about this. And if you're seen carrying something heavy and the woman's walking free, it's almost like what they call a simp. Like she's using, like you're nothing, like you just, like what? That's sick. We have a lot of strong, physically strong women out here, but I don't care if you look stronger than me. I don't care if you're a powerlifter. I'm an offer to help you out. There was no agenda and hidden motivation behind it. So we walked. And then she started asking me, you're from America, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm from America. What you want to know, right? So she's asking me questions and stuff. Excuse me. So she's asking me questions about America. And I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, for Black people, it was never really, back in the day it was easier, you can make it. But now it's not unless you have some profession that you needed. But as a regular person going there with an average skill set, what is that? I don't know. But, it's tough going there. If I was to come back, it would be tough for me. It's like when I left New York and moved to Florida to move back to New York and everything's so high, I'm like, I'm not doing that. So if you go in Accra is expensive. It's expensive and more at the core. And just like cities that grow out, it gets more inexpensive. So my apartment is not at the core. And where I'm building is way up in the mountains. Very affordable. I cannot have that the way it is if it was in America or even down here in this part. So we had good exchange, got a name and everything. Walked into a door. I had to get off of the little street because it was heavy. Bad boys were hurting me, my hands. So I dropped it there. So we kept seeing each other. And Mrs. SCURV would see her and everything like that. So one day she had a question for me and she wanted to ask me because she was a teacher. She's a teacher. I said, okay, here's my number, whatever. And so she called me legitimately and asked me different questions about America because she really wanted to go. And then I saw her again. I was by myself and I was walking the long road. And so she said, I would love to go to America. And she's being coy about it, counting on me to be some hound. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get with you, type thing. She was dangling the bait, not because she said she wanted to go to America. So she said, I really want to go to America, but I don't want to go by myself. I said, that's understandable, because you don't want to go by yourself. Because she's a country girl down here. There's no curse being that. But for her to go there by herself, in New York City, she said she wanted to go? Nah. They probably having a mini skirt walking the stroll. I'm just saying, slick people. So she says, when are you going again? I said, I don't know. At this point, that's when I first got here. I'm like, I don't know. I got a lot of things to do and accomplish before I do that. So she says, if I went to America and I love New York City, what I see and everything on the phone, on the computer, I want to go with you. I said, my wife doesn't really want to go anytime soon either. We have to situate ourselves here before we start traveling the world, if the world is in a better place, because I'm not going away and getting stuck. You know what I mean? So she said, no, I want to go with you. So what you mean? You want me to go with you, me and you? She said, yeah. And she looked around like a drug dealer about to make a sale. You know what I mean? And she said, I want to go with you, but I don't have any children. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with going to America? There's no requirement that you have to have kids to go anywhere. Oh, you can't fly, you're not pregnant yet, you don't have any children. Where are you going with this? I knew it, but I was like, this is blatant. So she said, listen, she was getting desperate. I expected her to start acting like a crackhead. Just let me tell you, please, just I'll do anything. I'll do it for $3. Just give me a rock. You know what I mean? And she clutched my wrist like they were coming for her and they're gonna snatch her away. And she'd be, like it's some more Roots type vibe. So she said, listen, I want you to give me a baby. And then I want us to go, like my wife didn't exist, right? And then I want us to go to America. She didn't tell me why. She wants to get an American child with an American father, go over there and drop the baby and, thank you. Probably go to the court. Yeah, he did it to me. He needs to pay child support. And I'll be out here in my dream of living out. And I'm like, I got to pay this chick's child support. Now, I'm not that kind of guy where I wouldn't do, right? I'm just saying the average guy. In the scheming, had another one. Used to see her selling fruit at a time. Same thing. And you know what she said? Oh, do you have kids? I said, yeah. She says, what do they look like? I said, they look like a combination of me and their mother. No. What does the mother look like? What is her complexion? I was like, oh man, I'm not dumb. I knew where she was going with this. I said, my ex-wife, who I have children with, is a darker complected woman, right? Where is she from? I said, she's from the Caribbean, right? I want to say what island, not because of here, but just, knuckleheads. Same thing. So she said, oh, so how did your children come out? How many girls you have? I said, with her, 3. Well, what's their complexion? I knew that's what she wanted to ask. I was like, well, the first daughter we had was my same complexion, actually a little lighter than me. Doesn't matter because that's my daughter. My other daughter, the first one was born in 95, the other one was born in 98, and she was darker, but not dark, but me saying this, I feel sick. I don't look at it that way. But just to explain, and I'm testing her, and I knew where she was going. I didn't know she was going to say something about a child. So the last one, I said, the last one came out very light. I said, they're all my children, and I love them equally. They have equal different abilities and talents, but I love them equally. So me being dark and you being a little lighter than me, I had a baby with you, it would probably come out light, right? And I wanted to say, well, some people roll the dice with that and crap out. They get the lightest black man they find, and it comes out with a black baby, black in skin. Not black like jet black, but you know what I'm talking about. Because we're going to have these people in the chat room that come and they're going to start this foolishness, right? So I see, mighty funny, right? The way she's thinking. So she's like, listen, I want a baby. I want a light baby, and I want a baby. See, you're not, how old are you? That was when I was, I'm 59 now. That was when I was 58. I've been here for a couple months, right? So I'm 58. You're 58. Oh, you got good genes. Okay. You have any sicknesses? I'm like, what am I being interviewed for? Is somebody going to snatch me away? Oh, no. She wants a baby. You have to go. We're going to take your sperm either the hard way or you can lay down with her. And I asked, that's the way you asked me all these questions. And then she was sitting by the fruit stand. She had a little skirt on, and she just laid back like this. Laid back, and put a leg up. Just like, what's the movie there with Sharon was a stone, and she turned around and opened up her legs? The little girl opened up her legs. Look, I'm not looking for that. But if somebody opened up their legs in front of you, you're like, you're trying to fight it. You know what I mean? I'm not a homo, but if some dude whipped that, hey, how you doing? I'm like, what am I saying? It's not, people don't do that. And she sat back there, hee. So when you going to come see me? I told her never. I ain't doing it. How dare you? Why do you think, you don't know me? You think I'm a hound for that? And all you got to do is just open up your legs or bend over or whatever. Oh, let me tell you something else. What was it today? Earlier. I went up by the Oyarafa Mall, which is not too far from here. 10-minute walk, slow. And there was a young lady, had to be about 16 years old. She's 16. Look, even when I was out there, look, half the time when I was 16, I ain't messed with nobody 16. You had to be 25 or 30 at least, right? So I'm not even in that zone. So I see this young girl, she has the stuff on her head and the kata and everything, and she's walking. And she says, oh, good afternoon. I said, good afternoon. She said, you look nice. But the way she looked at me when she said that, I was like, oh no. She said, you look nice. She looked at me. Because see, there was nobody around. I said, you better keep walking. I don't get down like that. And my slang, she didn't understand. Then she said, you want to get down with me? She knew. I messed myself up. I was like, no. I said, listen, I'm not interested in talking to you that way. And I just kept walking. And I walked, and I felt eyes all up and down my backside. I felt like the chick that walked down by the construction site in a miniskirt early in the morning because the club was open late. I felt like pulling down my shorts and walking like I had a miniskirt on. Now I know how females feel when they're ogled by men in the street and catcalled. I turned around real quick, and she was in. I'm like, come on. But it's not about me like I'm all that. It's opportunity for many. Because in the schools here, it's colonized schools. So here's going to be screwed up. The religion screws them up. And they don't say that there's no hope here in Ghana, but they're always pointing to America and how good it is there. Not in every lesson every day, but the way that they express it. And it's not part of the curriculum. It's the brainwashing of the prior generation. See? So this thing is handed down. Because when I run into people, they'll jokingly say, so are you going to take me to America? I said, do you want to work 2 jobs and not have no sleep and have no money to the next paycheck? Now, it's not always that way because people are making it still, having fun, going to the clubs, buying cars. I know that. I'm not trying to paint this grim picture of America, but it's not what it used to be. It's being squeezed out. Where I used to say to the statistician that told me, the white man, and we did an interview, and I have to find it because somebody had asked me about that. And he said, In 2016, the 2016 dollar was worth 13 cents of the 1973 dollar. But we don't feel it because it's gradual. Like that, like the lobster or the frog in the water that's cold, but you put the fire in it. It's just like, oh, it feels a little warm, feels a little warm. And at some point, I was like, yo, this water is hot, right? But I heard from somebody, they said the dollar now is only 4 cents of the 19. Could you imagine? And everybody I've talked to, and I've said this before in the show, I'm gonna say it again. My mother, back in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, my father worked and made good money in his own business. And money wasn't a problem. We weren't rich, but the home basic stuff, it was abundance. I had clothes, I had what I wanted. They didn't spoil me now. A little bit here and there, right? But I was spoiled anyway. I had my own room and I do what I want in the room. I had my friends come over, whatever. I was good. But I remember my mother would take $50, y'all, back in the days when I was reading comic books and drawing cartoons. That was the early 70s. And she'd get 2 huge shopping carts of food high up. Because sometimes she'd have to go and put some stuff in the third one. And I'd stand there and wait while she took it out to my father in the car. And have $20 change left over. So $30 bought all of that food. You take a couple of kids to a fast food restaurant today with $30 and see how much you get out of your stuff. What happened? This is what you want? Chances are, even if you're one of the best doctors in this country and you go to America, they're not going to honor your credentials. So you might find yourself, is this doctor working in Walmart, working in the Home Depot, driving a cab, which any work that's honest is edifying. It's good. Maybe you don't want to stay there and improve and make more, learn more, do your own thing. But I would never look down on anybody who cleans toilets or sweeps floors or maintenance man, anything. As long as you have it in your heart that you live clean, honest, and you're not ripping nobody off. But come on, you want to leave doing what you're doing? And yes, the economy here is getting worse. It's getting worse. I'm not depending on it. I'm retired. I don't have to. But I ain't a millionaire either. I got to pinch my pennies because it's like, this is all I'm getting. Hey, we got to make this stretch. I don't splurge on anything. I maintain my equipment, and I'm appreciative of all who have donated and supported the channel because it goes back to all this stuff that I have. And I work it. It's not like I have all this stuff, let me sit back. No. The only reason why I haven't been working as much as before is because of all the other things I'm doing. But the time is now to go back into putting out lots of good content, unique. I'm going to be unique with it. But going back to the story, there's so many that are brainwashed because they point their hopes at America, like that's the promised land, the land of milk and honey. And you tell them, I'm like, you go on YouTube, what do you just don't see the homelessness and the crime and the drugs? Because I tell you one thing, being here, it's like a weight lifted off of me. All the good things I said are still true. But it's just the interaction from those who are brainwashed, you know, with the colorism and tribalism and self-hate. It's over here too, just as intense as in America, but it comes a different way. And if you ask me, it's something that is harder to deal with here because it's so embedded. And it was done so in a psychological way, the same way as America, but deeply embedded, more so. That's what I say. Intelligent people who have book sense, but they bow down with the quickness of somebody who's white because the white man comes from the better place. And I couldn't believe it. They got dating sites here in Ghana. And I'm going to maybe eventually get some links and just drop them in the description area so you can see it. Here, for black women to find white men, Turkish men, Lebanese men, not black men. It's specifically for that. And you go down to the area called Osud. I like to go down there. It gives me a little rush of city life. The buildings and the restaurants, and Friday night is dope. We're going to do our Freaky Friday show tomorrow night. I might go down there and just chill, you know,